Upload. Get yourself on the BBC with Garry Scott on BBC Radio Lancashire.
Yeah, it's Upload. There we go. A bit loud, wasn't it? There we go. I didn't have my finger on the pulse then. It's Upload. It's that time again to look into the BBC Upload folder. This is where we want to see and look at and read and hear all the things that you create. We know that you Lancastrians are a creative lot, and if you've made something, if you created something, as long as it's all your own work, we'd love you to pop it in the BBC Upload folder. It's your front door to the BBC, and if we like what you send to us, we'll use it either on air or on one of our digital platforms. It's dead simple to get involved. You go to bbc.co.uk/upload. It's as simple as attaching an attachment to an email. And that's what Liz Ollier did from Burnley. And she joins us on the line. But Liz isn't in Burnley anymore. Tell us, Liz, where are you now?
I'm in Switzerland in a town on Lake Geneva called Lausanne.
My word, you're a long way from home, Toto, aren't you?
It is.
So I've learned a few things about you, Liz. I know that you studied French at Liverpool. Yes, indeed. I've got my man in the know who ferrets these things out for me. And you studied French at Liverpool University, where you met
correct.
your husband. So
Yes.
tell us, you take up the tale from there.
Okay. Well, I was invited by one of my professors to a sort of dinner party because one of them was actually part of a sort of welcoming committee for foreigners into Liverpool. And they invited me, and I happened to meet this rather charming Frenchman from the south of France. Didn't speak a word of English, and his office had sent him to Liverpool, of all places, to learn English from scratch. So he would get on the bus, and people would say, "Where are you going, love?" And he'd go, "I beg your pardon."
I can laugh at that because my sister-in-law is Scouse, and she'd chuckle at that. That's incredible. I love how you say charming Frenchman. Is there any other kind? They're always very charming, aren't they?
Yes.
So you like the look of him, and go on, what happened next?
Well, what happened next was he took me out for dinner. And at that time, this is going back a long time, Gary. At that time, St. John's Centre, there was a revolving restaurant at the top of the tower.
Wow.
And I'm a student. I'm a penniless student. I'm taken to dinner by this charming young Frenchman. And I decide, and so the tower's going round, the restaurant's going round. I decide I need to go to the loo. I come back from the loo, and I can't find the table because it's moved. And after having sort of red wine, I did find the table. But after having sort of red wine, white wine, and so on, it took me about 2 days to get over the hangover.
Well, I can imagine. No wonder. Are you sure that the restaurant was spinning, or was it just the wine? I mean, I've done that myself. Where it's, whoa, hold on to the door, Tiger.
Well, maybe you could try that as an excuse. The restaurant was spinning. It wasn't my head, it was the restaurant.
So you hit it off. It's brilliant. Obviously, you got together.
Yes.
And
we got married.
And off you went, I'm told, to Nigeria.
Yes, he was working for a French company in Lagos, which at the time was the capital of Nigeria. So we spent a few years there, and it was good.
What was life like over there? What's it like living in Nigeria? What did you do?
Well, expat life, was pretty good. Yeah, there were logistics problems, like 1 week there'd be no sugar and this sort of thing. But apart from that, it was a very international community. So since there wasn't much to do in terms of entertainment, people would, go around for dinner, and we made some good friendships. Played a lot of sport, played squash, that kind of thing, played cards. And it was a really good international community, and we've kept friends from that time.
So a nice social scene going on there. Behind you. Now, what about the radio? Because I believe you've done a bit of radio yourself before. Tell us about that.
That was in French. When I moved to Switzerland, I opened an art gallery, as one does. And from time to time, I would be invited to talk about the exhibitions. And then there was also a program which I participated in a little bit, which I suppose the translation would be something like, "It gets my goat." So you got the chance to express your dissatisfaction with something or other that was going on locally.
Okay.
It was a local radio. It was the equivalent of Radio Lancashire.
Okay, I like it. This is good. This is good. So you've got many strings to your bow, including musicianship. Now, this is where we come to the piece that you've uploaded. Tell us about what you've uploaded tonight.
Okay, so we wanted to write... I work with a group of international musicians. Now, that sounds very sort of posh, but it just means that we work remotely on a special platform called Compose. So we decided this group, which is called Riders of the Apostrophe, by the way. It's a made-up name. But we decided that we'd write a Halloween song.
Okay.
So I said, Halloween, that means witches. I was born in Burnley. Pendle has witches. Let's write a song about the Pendle Witches. Nobody else on the team, and I hope your listeners can believe this, but nobody else on the team had ever heard of the Pendle Witches.
Wow, as a Lancastrian, that seems unthinkable. But if this is an international collaboration, I can maybe understand that. Yeah. So did you have to tell them about the witches? Did you have to do a bit of schooling for them?
They actually did their own research. I write lyrics, and I co-wrote the lyrics with a guy called Simon Wright, who lives in Glasgow. And he did more research than I ever did into the Lancashire witch trials. And we came up with the idea of focusing on just one of the lesser known, perhaps, witches, who was called Alice Gray. So it wasn't, the Lennoxes and things. It was Alice Gray's fate. And she escaped hanging, in fact.
Did she?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the very few.
I'm dying to listen. Would you mind introducing the track for us, then we can have a listen?
Okay, so the track is, we were going to call it Alice Gray, and then we thought that was perhaps a bit ordinary, so we called it Gallows Hill, which was the name of the hill where the witches were actually hanged. And it's about, it was made for Halloween, so it's perhaps a bit macabre, but it talks about the hanging and how the hangings were unjust. Okay. So the theme of the song is actually social injustice.
Let's have a listen.
A false word. 12 good Pendle folk, for witchcraft they were tried. Though I escaped a hanging, all the others died. To be hanged for a witch, like all the others swing and twitch, noose tightening around my throat, while onlookers cheer and gloat. I should have felt death's chill upon Gallows Hill, upon Gallows Hill, accused of murder, of casting evil spells. I was at the Malkin Tower, but have no demonic powers. How many people must be unjustly tried? How many innocents lose their lives? The king and his laws be damned. judges with greasy palms. We should have put them on Gallows Hill and let them dangle and no death's chill. To be hanged for a witch, like the others swing and twitch. Knew I was standing around my throat while onlookers cheer and gloat. Should have felt death's chill upon Gallows Hill, upon Gallows Hill. To be hanged for a witch, like the others swing and twitch. Noose tightening round my throat, while onlookers cheer and gloat. Should have felt death's chill upon Gallows Hill, upon Gallows Hill. I finally told my story. I could kneel and pray.
That's Gallows Hill, sent in to BBC Upload on BBC Radio Lancashire by Liz Ollier, who was from Burnley but who now resides in Switzerland. I'll tell you what, there's an awful lot going on there, Liz, in that song. That's remarkably well put together.
Yes, yeah. There's a guy from the Netherlands. Just the
Right.
mixing.
So you all contribute your parts and he brings
Yeah.
it together, yeah. Who's the singer?
Oh, the singer, this is really fun because she's American, as you can probably tell from the accent, and she lives in Michigan.
Right. I got
And she's really interested in folk songs.
Is she? I got senses of a bit of Stevie Nicks about it, that kind of voice, you know.
Oh, she would love that.
From Fleetwood Mac. I thought there was a certain quality to her voice there. And what strikes me there is it's incredible. That's a global production. There are people all around the world coming together. Isn't the internet a great thing? Isn't it brilliant what we can do today with technology?
Brilliant.
Absolutely
It's like
fantastic.
what we're doing tonight. I'm talking to you on my smartphone.
Exactly, all the way. I'm here in Blackburn, and you're there in Switzerland. It's remarkable, isn't it? Now, you help out. You coach scientists in being able to present themselves, being able to put points over, to present lessons and whatever. That must be interesting.
It's very interesting. It's quite challenging because the company I work with actually are at sort of the beginning of a cycle of making vaccines. They work particularly, so they're the ones that find the first molecules. And they get really excited. I mean, one of the guys I'm teaching said he's a specialist in small molecules. And I thought all molecules were small.
Yeah, I didn't know there were any other type myself, but
Well,
there you go.
There you go, Gary. There you go. You see, you've learned something tonight. Not all molecules, some of them are bigger than others. Anyway, the problem is that they get so involved in the scientific part and they get excited about the science that they're doing because it's going to be able to help people, in particular with conditions like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, that it's very difficult for them to be concise and talk, for example, to people who are going to finance this research and who are not scientists but need to know, whether this is going to work 50%, 70%, how much it's going to cost, what the return on investment possibly could be, etc. So it's teaching them. The methodology is quite simple. It's called KISS.
Go on.
Keep it short and simple.
Oh, fair enough. So for people like me that might need it dumbed down a bit, because I don't have a scientific background, and I don't need all the jargon, but I need to know, is it likely to work? What will it do for me? And why should I invest in it, for example?
Exactly. That's exactly the question that they need to ask themselves. Why are they doing a presentation?
That's fascinating. So you help them with that. And I've got a note here from my other half, my radio other half, Chris Thornley, Say, and ask about what happened on Pendle Hill when you were a teenager.
That was all right. We had a dare. We'd heard that maybe there were strange goings on Pendle Hill on Halloween. Mm-hmm. So we decided, and there was only one of us actually had a driving license at that time, so we drove to Sept or somewhere, and we started up the hill. It's already dark, of course, so that was pretty difficult. You know, we had sort of flashlights and so on, but it was quite a bit out of puff by the time we got to the top. And in the distance, we could see what looked like a big bonfire, and witches sort of dancing around it and chanting, and it looked, to our imaginations, like a black mass. So there were two options. You know, we could go and investigate, or we could scarper off back down.
Well, I know what I would have done, but what did you do?
Second option.
Absolutely, that's the correct answer. Well done.
Thanks, Gary, thanks.
What a strange
What do I win?
thing to... Oh, you win your safety and sanity. There you go. You did well. You win a lifetime supply of oxygen. There you go. That's incredible. So there are genuinely people dancing about around a fire.
This was a long time ago, Gary. I don't know if it is possibly something which is not... it doesn't conform to safety regulations about, you know, lighting bonfires on the top of Pendle Hill. I'm sure there are restrictions about that, but it did happen, and we were scared.
Well, I'm not surprised. Listen, it's been fascinating talking to you. I think the takeaway message from this is don't be lighting bonfires anywhere, because with some of the fires we've had over here, I don't know if you kept up with the local news, but the fires on Winter Hill and things like that, people setting fires to things. Not good at all. So don't be dancing about around fires, and don't be setting fires in the first place. Lovely to talk to you, Liz. That's Liz Ollier, who was from Burnley and saw some very strange things in her time in Burnley, and she's now all the way over in Switzerland. What a fascinating lady. What a lovely piece of music she sent to us. This could be you. You could be chatting on the radio. Just get your stuff uploaded. Go to bbc.co.uk/upload and let us see what you do, because if we like it, we'll use it on the air. You might even end up chatting to me.
My name's Liz Auzan, a name you'll not have heard. I'm, as they say, a lassie from Lancashire, Burnley to be precise. I'm lucky to be part of an international and motley crew of musicians working together remotely to write songs on the Compose collaboration platform. I write lyrics. In 2020, Simon Wright, a fellow lyricist, and I decided it would be fun to write some Halloween lyrics. I, jokingly as one does, said that would be right up my street, as I was born in the shadow of Pendle Hill, where the famous witch trials had been held in the 17th century. The joke fell completely flat, since Simon, who lives in Scotland, had never heard of the Pendle Witches. I couldn't believe it. So what did you do then, Simon?
I was intrigued and set out to research the topic in depth. I then transformed my new knowledge into a lengthy set of lyrics, which I sent to Elizabeth.
I was amazed. He knew much more than I did. The lyrics told the whole story, which was great, but too complex for a pop rock song. So we worked together to hone them into a more suitable form and decided to focus on the fate of Alice Gray.
Yes, that was a good decision. We then had a discussion about the title and found that although Alice Gray was an obvious choice, Gallows Hill would be scarier and catchier. Then all we had to do was find musicians. First choice was Raymond van Melsen from Holland, who not only plays keyboards of any shape or size, but is also a fantastic song arranger and mixing, mastering engineer.
So we contacted him, held our breath, and Raymond said,
I absolutely love the idea. It reminded me somehow of the song Witch Hunt by my favorite band Rush. So I took up my bass guitar and I imagined what Geddy Lee would have done with this. And out came a pattern in 9/16 that became the basis of this song. And then there was only one guitar player I could think of that would be able to add the perfect layers of guitars on this, and that was Mark Adams from Bristol. I had worked with him on several occasions.
So Raymond sent me the idea for the track, and it sounded great as it was in that original idea format, which included keyboards, of course, and a rhythm section. And there's a song that I wish I could write myself. Absolutely blown away with Raymond's songwriting skills, as always. And it was a bit of a challenge for me because I had to learn a new time signature, which is basically counting in nines. So it was 9/8, I think, or 9/16. I can't remember the actual technical term for the time signature. But basically, you had to count in nines. And then it went into a 6/4 time signature, which I am familiar with. But anyway, yeah, great track. And of course, with the theme of the Pendle Witches, which I hadn't heard of either. And it seemed like I was the only person in England that hadn't heard of the Pendle Witches. And so I asked about everybody that I knew here in England. They'd heard of the Pendle Witches. And it's a very interesting topic to learn about. And of course, Simon and Elizabeth wrote the great lyrics to go along with the song. And that was the original idea from Elizabeth and Simon, of course. I know that both me and Raymond are Rush fans, so that was in our heads with the song. I'm a big Alex Lifeson fan from Rush, and I love Alex Lifeson's guitars. But of course we want to make it our own as well. And I think it ended up being a great song.
Now we needed a vocalist. I'd already worked with Chris Pride from Bay City, Michigan, and was happy when Chris said,
I had never heard of the Pendle Witches either, but then again, I live in Michigan, USA, so I guess I can be forgiven. It sounded similar to the Salem witch trials, and fighting injustice is a lot of what I'm about. Also, folk songs really are my thing. And I had already collaborated with James Fraser from the UK on several traditional folk songs. We call ourselves Steeped in Tradition. So this was really exciting, another chance to collaborate with some awesome European folks. And to do something so different in terms of culture, but so similar in terms of values was a great opportunity for me. So I said I'm in. I did my best to embody a wrongly accused 17th century witch, and Raymond took it from there.
each member of the group is busy with day jobs and was dealing, like everyone else, with the impact of COVID restrictions. So we kind of missed the deadline for the 31st of October 2020, but we didn't want to let go and revive the idea for 31st of October 2021.
I really had a lot of recorded material to cope with. The project has a total of 54 audio tracks. So I had to cut away a lot of sounds from my initial composition, and this gave the song more of a living atmosphere, I think. And after mixing, I mastered the song and asked the others to play it on their own respective systems to check the balance.
And we said, Raymond, you're the man. Let's do this.
And now you can download the song on Soundblender. Or, Mark, can you tell us more about your YouTube channel?
By the time of this recording, there will be some videos related to the Pendle Witches and the Alice Gray song on the Moonrunner Music YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/Moonrunner
So we started out intending to write a light-hearted Halloween song. But Alice Gray, embodied by Chris, bewitched us. And the five of us produced a song with a deeper underlying theme of injustice. We hope you enjoy listening to it as much as we enjoyed doing it.